There is a small group of men in their 40s and 50s who look and move like they're 30. You've seen them at the park, on a trail, maybe in your own training space. They're not genetically gifted. They didn't win any lottery. They're not training more hours than anyone else. But something in the way they carry themselves and the way they move without thinking about it tells you immediately that their body is not doing what most bodies do at that age. I spent 3 months analyzing what these men have in common. I studied the training records of elite athletes who maintained peak performance well past 40. The Roger Federers, the Tom Bradys, the athletes who defied every standard timeline for physical decline. And I cross-referenced that with the habits of everyday men in their 40s and 50s who have quietly kept their physical capacity intact without ever being professional athletes, without personal trainers, without complicated programs. 4 things. Every single one of them does these 4 things, not occasionally, consistently, for years. The most important one is number 2. And it's the exact thing most men over 40 stop doing first, which is precisely why the decline begins. Before we get into the 4 habits, I need to say this clearly. The men who stay exceptional after 40 are not doing more. In almost every case, they're doing less total volume than men who are declining. The difference is not quantity, it is the specific quality of what they keep doing, no matter what. In 2017, sports scientists studying why certain elite athletes performed at a high level well past their expected peak published a finding that was consistent across almost every athlete they analyzed. Roger Federer at 37, competing at the highest level in professional tennis. Tom Brady at 44, leading an NFL offense. LeBron James routinely outperforming players 10 years younger. These men had reduced their total training volume compared to their 20s. But one type of training had increased rather than decreased: fast, explosive, reactive movement. The research team's conclusion was direct. You cannot maintain functional youth in a body that has stopped practicing speed and power. Slow the training down completely, and the body optimizes for slowness. Remove explosive demand and fast twitch muscle fiber, the fiber responsible for power, speed, and the ability to react to sudden demands. Atrophies at a rate that slow, controlled training cannot prevent. You don't lose it from aging, you lose it from not using it. 4 habits, let's go. Habit number 1, they never stopped training fast. Every man in this group continued training some form of explosive movement well into their 40s and 50s. Not necessarily heavy, not necessarily long sessions, but fast. A jump squat, an explosive hip hinge, a short sprint, a medicine ball throw against a wall. The specific exercise mattered far less than the principle. At least once per training session, something moved at maximum velocity. Fast twitch muscle fiber is the first thing to disappear without specific demand, and once it's gone, everything else declines faster. Muscle mass, balance, bone density, coordination, the ability to catch yourself from a fall. You cannot maintain it by staying active. You can only maintain it by being fast. Add 1 explosive movement to every session this week. 3 sets of jump squats, 5 explosive hip hinges, a 10-second sprint at the end of a walk. The output matters less than the intent. Maximum effort, maximum speed, every rep. Habit number 2, they trained one side at a time. The men who stay strong after 40 train unilaterally. Single leg squats, split squats, single arm rows, single leg deadlifts. Not instead of bilateral training, but in addition to it, and often instead of it when time is limited. The reason is not complexity. The reason is honesty. Bilateral training, squats, deadlifts, rows with both arms, allows your stronger side to silently compensate for your weaker side. You feel like you're training both legs equally. You are not. After 40, you have accumulated years of compensatory patterns. One hip is tighter, one shoulder loads differently. The imbalances are real, and they're invisible in bilateral movement. Until one day you step off a curb at the wrong angle, or you reach for something and your back locks, or your knee gives out on a hike, and you can't explain why. It didn't come from nowhere. It came from years of one side never being asked to carry its own load while the other side covered for it. Unilateral training exposes the imbalances immediately and corrects them with every rep. add one single leg or single arm movement to every training session. Minimum. Habit number 3, they never fully stopped. This is the most underestimated habit on this list. The men who stayed exceptional never had an extended period of complete inactivity. Not a week off, not 2 weeks of rest after a vacation, not a month of lighter training that turned into no training, not because they were obsessive or never took a break, but because they had internalized a principle that the Japanese call kaizen. The daily minimum is worth more than the occasional maximum. It doesn't need to be a workout, a 10-minute walk and a set of push-ups, a dead hang from a door frame pull-up bar, 5 minutes of hip mobility work before bed. The specifics are almost irrelevant. What matters is the signal. Every day, the body receives confirmation that physical demand is a real and ongoing requirement. The body responds by maintaining the capacity to meet that demand. Remove the signal for a week and the downregulation begins. Remove it for 2 weeks and the cost of restarting is measurably higher than it would have been. After 40, the cost of stopping and restarting is significantly greater than the cost of simply never fully stopping. A daily minimum is not laziness. It is the most sustainable long-term training decision you can make. Habit number 4, they train their grip and their carry. The last habit that appeared consistently across every group I analyzed: grip strength and loaded carrying, not as isolated exercises, not as an accessory afterthought, as a regular, non-negotiable feature of how they move through the week. Grip strength is the most reliable physiological proxy for systemic strength available to researchers studying aging. Men with higher grip strength at 45 show lower rates of cardiovascular disease, lower rates of cognitive decline, better bone density outcomes, and significantly higher functional independence at 70 and 80, not because grip strength itself prevents disease, but because grip strength cannot be maintained without the entire connected system working. Forearms, shoulders, core, cardiovascular output, and postural stability all contributing simultaneously. Once a week, carry something heavy for distance, a heavy grocery bag in each hand, a loaded backpack for a 30-minute walk, a suitcase up and down stairs. The specific implement doesn't matter. The load matters. The distance matters. The consistency matters. No machine replaces it. No isolation exercise produces it. Carry heavy things regularly. The long-term benefit is disproportionate to the effort required. 4 habits. No gym membership required for any of them. No special equipment. No dramatic program overhaul. Train fast. Train one side at a time. Never fully stop. Carry heavy things. The men who stay exceptional after 40 are not exceptional because of genetics. They are exceptional because they maintained 4 specific inputs that the human body requires in order to stay exceptional. Every man watching this video is capable of doing the same. The only question is whether you'll still be doing all 4 of them 5 years from now. Which of these 4 habits are you currently missing from your training? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one.